All right. Well, welcome to Shoponomics. My name is Matt, and we've got Daniel. We've got Jeff Byer on. Welcome to the show, Jeff.
Thank you. Good to be here.
Thank you. Yeah. So just a little history. Jeff and I go way back. I think we go all the way back to 7th grade, junior high, right,
Yeah.
Jeff?
Yeah.
Nice. So yeah, welcome to the show. Jeff is an industry veteran. He's been building websites, I think, longer than Daniel and I, surprisingly. We go back to when did you start, Jeff? When was your first website?
It was 96, 97.
Okay, yeah.
While I was at USC, I was taking a class that offered web development. It was just kind of a communications class, and read up on it, started working on it at home, and me and my buddy who were in the class decided to start a company together. So my first website company was right out of college in 97.
Okay. Oh, exciting. Yeah, I think mine was right around 97, 98. Daniel, when was your first website?
I mean, I around the same time, I was dabbling around trying to figure out HTML and all that. So yeah, similar.
Yeah, that's awesome. What did you code it, or did you use? I used Dreamweaver. That was my first kind of foray into web design, web development. Did you just straight up?
The first thing that I ever did was I wrote it from scratch using Notepad.
Nice. Okay.
And that was because the pamphlet that I was reading about HTML on just said do it that way.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it was before any of the WYSIWYG stuff. But then I was definitely a hardcore Dreamweaver user. And then once I got into the more complex languages, I just switched back over to bare code.
Okay, nice. Well, cool. And then from there, I guess we're still just talking about your history a little bit. You went on to Sony, right?
Yeah. So after the first company failed, I did a bunch of odd jobs, and I was working at Aramark in their uniforms division on national accounts, and that was more just kind of sales and account management, but on the side, I was working with the IT department to build a intranet for the companies to communicate nationwide. Then I got a call from my ex-partner who said, "Hey, there's an opening at Sony, and it's going to pay a fraction of what you're getting paid now, and the hours are going to be long, and I know you live in Glendale, Montrose area, but it's in Culver City." And I took it. So, I've never regretted the decision once, because I got to work on TV and movie sites. And
yeah, I mean, I remember just being blown away by some of the sites. Can you name a couple that do a little name dropping?
Yeah. So as far as TV shows, Wheel of Fortune, Jeopardy, Rock and Roll Jeopardy, Gong Show, the whole game show network was my biggest project. So I was managing all the sites and pages for them. And then movies, we did Go and Big Daddy and Spider-Man, the first Spider-Man. That was a huge promotion, and that's when I transferred over to software, and I was creating movie and music editing software for Sony, and they included it on all the VAIO computers, and I was editing people into trailers live, and I did it. I think it was Comdex 2000. I think is when I was on stage with Tobey Maguire and the CEO of Sony, and put the CEO of Sony into the trailer for Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Nice. Wow. Were you? I know that was kind of back in the day when Flash was huge. Were you doing some Flash too?
Yeah, we did. We did a ton of Flash. Almost every game show site was in Flash because it had to be gamified somehow.
Yeah.
So
yeah. I know if you would have told us then that Flash would, be pretty much non-existent, I would have said no way. I would bet the farm on that. But
what year did you do your last Flash site? Just curious.
Ooh, good question. I can't even remember.
It was so long ago, right?
Over a decade for sure.
We gave it up a while ago. I adopted HTML5 pretty early, and I think the last thing that I did in Flash was an animated banner ad and not a site. So I was working for a company called Gum Gum, and they do interactive ads, and it was the promotion for Disney's Frankenweenie movie. And their problem with their animated ads is GIFs are huge. Flash is going away. Flash wasn't even allowed on iOS, and so they were missing out on a whole audience. And I said, why don't you give me a chance? I'm a freelancer with them. I said, why don't you give me a chance to build an HTML5 animated set of ads and see how that works? Because at least people will see the animation on iOS. And that was their first ad campaign. And from then on, they were all HTML5 animated. And then they adopted a standard, which I still have it here. It's called software called Hype. That's basically kind of like the Flash animation scheme, but it exports just JavaScript and HTML.
Okay. Wow. Cool. Nice. Cool. And I guess last question in your history. So at some point I know you went off to you started a print company. And then when did you kind of go off and start your own agency? Was that about 10 years ago or?
Yeah. So I was a partner at Dice Media for a while. I don't even remember how long that was. And then just the separation from Dice Media was very slow. It wasn't that we had any issues with each other. It was just that I wanted to live at the beach and I didn't want to go to the valley. And
that's a big one.
Yeah, and so we're still friendly and communicate and all that stuff. And so I just decided, hey, I'm not going to compete. I'm not going to take any clients. I just want to start my own thing. And so I started from scratch again in my career for the fourth time. But had a lot of existing relationships that turned out to be fruitful. And so been lucky enough to be doing this on my own now.
Nice.
Very cool.
And then I bought the printing company too, which still haven't done anything with. It's limping along on its 2004 design, still in
the printing website. Right?
PHP, MySQL, nice and old. Yeah, if you guys want to go deep dive on that direct customer site, you'll have a field day. And be like, this guy, how is this guy a professional? But it was funny over this weekend. We got a attempted DDoS attack and a SQL injection attack, and I could see all of these requests coming in with somebody trying to. I'm sure it was a ransomware thing. They wanted to try and lock us out of our database and money to get back in. But that's the PHP and MySQL is monolithic and old school as it seems to be. It's still pretty nice, pretty secure. Nothing better than a static site though, because there's nothing to inject there. But
right,
we had a kind of major attack. It was definitely a bot, and within 3 minutes, I got hundreds of injections into the file uploader HTML. And it never got through. All the inputs were sanitized. So
awesome, good job. Yeah, we had an attack on one of our sites too a couple of weekends ago. Always on the weekend, right?
Oh yeah.
How often do you back up the printing site? On a regular schedule?
We've got a pretty hefty hosting budget over at Media Temple. Media Temple was the hot hosting company when we launched. And they've been good at upgrading us, and so they keep daily backups, and the our SQL database now is up to 60, 70 megs, and so that just we'll do manual updates every now and then, or manual backups every now and then, but they do a good job of keeping everything running.
Cool. So it sounds like you did a lot of like content and creative sites over the years. We've been focusing a lot on e-commerce sites on our end for the last few years. Have you have experience with that as well?
Yeah, I've been working with a company who partners with celebrities and influencers to create their own products. And so the first thing I did was a Shopify site called aiwellness.com.
Mm-hmm.
And that is the lead singer of Imagine Dragons is the co-owner of that set of supplements. And he's got an autoimmune deficiency. And so the types of supplements he wanted were anti-inflammatory and specific to people with specific needs. So it's a whole line of workout and wellness supplements, a joint health supplement, and that was my first project that I did with them. Then from that we did the vitahustle.com, which is Kevin Hart's supplement company.
Real quick, Jeff, we got can we talk? We got the AI Wellness up. It's a great looking site, man.
It looks like it's missing the animation, the red bars that come in. I don't know. But
so is this on Shopify?
Yeah, this is a Shopify site.
Okay, nice.
Oh, there we go. Yep.
Yeah, so Brad Feinberg is the trainer, and he's also a part owner. And this project's still going. They went from Shopify selling to direct to selling on Amazon, and now they're pulling back from Amazon, going back to direct. And we're getting
interesting.
Yeah, we're refreshing the formulas right now, so it's kind of in.
Can you talk a little about that, or why the pullback from Amazon, or just was it just savings, or?
So that was all internal. It's the only reason you wouldn't want to be on Amazon is because of the pricing.
Right.
I'm sure it's that they need to be more profitable, and it's also that even with all of my e-commerce clients right now, is inventory is a serious issue right now, and
us too.
Yeah, even globally, creatine seems to be one of those things that's hard to get supply for, and one of the best-selling products is a creatine product.
Okay, yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, one of our clients is going through a big inventory move. They changed warehouses, so it's definitely been hurting them.
So when you did AI Wellness, how long ago was that?
Geez. Asking a lot of hard-hitting questions. Let me.
I'm gonna say a number of years ago.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna look it up right now. Yeah, it's.
And
now, is there some AI actually involved in their wellness? Is it, or is that just kind of the
AI is it's not actual artificial intelligence.
Okay.
It's anti-inflammatory.
Okay.
Yeah,
we're so programmed, right? I mean, I hear AI.
Yeah. So I didn't help name the company, but they're definitely, that was the first thing So it looks like we started in mid 2019.
Okay.
Okay.
Cool. And have you done any Shopify 2.0 sites recently? And if so, how is that compared to those initial experiences?
So Shopify, I'm still let me check. I've got 2 projects in the works right now, and just seeing.
And this this looks like the AI wellness site looks unlike any other Shopify sites that I come across, and so I'm just assuming it's a completely custom theme.
Yeah, So we custom design, custom build all of our sites. So
Nice.
yeah, so that was designed in house, and then we built it and then animated it, and it's
Awesome.
got a custom slide shopping cart too.
Mm-hmm.
That that was painful to build, but now a lot of Shopify themes come with slide carts. We just
and I see it.
Yeah.
I see it has a subscribe feature too. That's cool. Are you using any particular plugin for that, for the subscribe?
All custom. The
All custom.
subscribe is Klaviyo, so
Okay.
that'll connect to the Klaviyo email connector.
Cool.
And,
Okay.
yeah. So this site relies heavily on social media and email marketing.
Mm-hmm.
And then we do Google ads and Facebook ads, Instagram ads, TikTok ads. Yeah.
Got it. Can you how's it been with TikTok ads? I know we've seen some, one
They're
of our
tough.
marketers is
They're
what?
They're tough.
They're tough. Yeah, that's what I've heard that. I've heard that many places.
Yeah, it's
it's cheap, but
the
hard to prove.
Partnerships are it's the same thing with all the influencer marketing going on right now, is that the audience can pick up on it. And so if they see a product in a post, they're immediately, they are thinking that it's an ad, and they just move on to the organic content. So it's not as effective as it used to be, but still it does drive traffic, especially being associated with celebrities and with influencers, that you can drive initial sales that way. It's a good way to get off the ground, but it's not sustainable.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Favorite e-com platform, would it be Shopify, or do you use others? Or
yeah, I came from the pain of BigCommerce.
Okay.
And before that it was the PHP one. I forget the name of it now.
Yep.
Xcart, maybe.
No.
I'm drawing a blank too, but we worked on it as well before it became BigCommerce.
Yeah.
Cannot remember what it's called anymore.
Yeah, and I archived my drive when I got a new computer, but it was this PHP e-commerce system that everybody was using. It was open source, and we were building a ton of these really complicated sites on it, spending thousands of hours customizing all this stuff, and now Shopify does it for you. But yeah, the BigCommerce, we launched a couple of sites on BigCommerce, and that developer experience was fine. But once we got into Shopify, and Shopify had matured into using Liquid and having the command line interface and things like that, then our development experience went much faster and much easier.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Got it. Well, you let's see. Yeah, you talked about kind of some of your promotions with sites. Do you have like favorite, or does it kind of depend on this? I mean, I guess we'll keep the discussion towards ecom since this is Shoponomics, but like within ecom,
the big e-commerce site that we're doing now is corenutrition.com. So that one is a full line of supplements that is produced in partnership with Kroger. And so they're being distributed nationwide in all Kroger stores and locations. And they are now they're now just becoming able to sell direct. And so
it's corenutrition.com. I'm going to pull it up.
Yeah. KORE.
Okay.
So yeah, that transition's currently happening. And again, the design and development is all done. We're waiting for inventory.
Okay.
Many things waiting for inventory.
Oh, Yep. Here we are. Okay.
Yep. There it is. There's our email subscription.
Yep. And is that Klaviyo?
Yeah.
Yeah. Got it. Yeah.
And then with all of our supplement and health and nutrition e-commerce sites, we always use Recharge as well for subscriptions.
Mm-hmm.
So we've built a custom back-end template for managing Recharge subscriptions. So we use that a lot.
Very cool.
The out-of-the-box Recharge is okay, but it's nowhere near being able to match a brand or a look and feel. So we usually just build our own because we want it to match. We want the user experience to be seamless.
Yep, makes sense. I love the video, man. Did you have any part in that?
Photos and video were done by another agency in Cincinnati.
Okay.
We just kind of directed them on what types of assets we wanted, and then integrated them on our own.
Yeah, it looks great.
Mm-hmm.
It's and it's short and concise. Sometimes it's a good length. And
yeah, and what I've been noticing is a lot of the newer successful e-commerce sites that are out there, they're kind of going back to simplicity. They don't do a lot of this site is visually a little bit louder than what you would expect from a vitamin brand at Kroger, but for the most part, it is simple. It's laid out and designed well, but it's simple. And so we've the third version of this site, and the fourth version will be coming out when it's direct to consumer. But
okay, yeah, it's a good looking site. When do you think that's scheduled?
Yeah, it's inventory. It's
inventory. Got it.
Yeah, once the 3PL has enough stock to handle orders, then we can turn it on.
Cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we've in our just 6 episodes so far, we've definitely noticed a lot of the bigger brands that we're looking at, like the sliders kind of at the in the hero image on the homepage. So a lot of them are kind of ditching those and just having real simplicity. So
yeah,
great looking site.
Thank you. Yeah, we've got a new influencer brand coming that we're kind of in the design phase now. So, and I'm not sure I'm able to talk about it yet.
Right on.
But we got a couple of those coming. Another celebrity backed. I think it's like a charity type product that's going to be happening. So, so we're still very much into the e-commerce development.
Okay, great.
And have you done any headless implementations with Shopify, or
it's something that we've been experimenting with, and we got a demo of Shogun. It was just cost prohibitive. Most of our customers are on strict budgets, so and we've been following the people that have been working on headless implementations, and it just doesn't seem worth it right now. But in the future it will. And because we can do a front end using React and have that deploy out, that'll be as static as we would need it at the moment, because even though it relies on a server, it's very performant. So Shopify still does pretty well there. It's not as bad as like an out of the box WordPress install.
Yeah. What do you currently do for speed for getting the e-commerce stores just running as fast as possible? What any tactics that you typically employ for that?
Yeah, always, number one thing is images, assets, all of those need to be, I know Shopify does their own optimization once it gets to the server, but sending them the right source is the best way to start. Properly sizing the source. Scripts can get out of hand. If you're starting with a theme and that theme has CSS for every single opt-in you could possibly imagine, then you got to start tree shaking and get things down to a manageable size. And then JavaScript execution time. How many third-party apps are you running? How many third parties do you actually need to load before it's interactive, or how many can you defer till after it's interactive? Those are huge points. We built a now I'm blanking on the name. It's specifically for loading YouTube videos. If it's something like a header video or anything like that, we'll use Vimeo because their JavaScript is just much more efficient, and it's minimized and plays well with other scripts. YouTube is terrible. It's unminified. It's even Google's Lighthouse audit will show that YouTube JavaScript is terrible.
Right. You would think. Go ahead.
Yeah. So we use Intersection Observer to load our YouTube videos, and that made a huge performance difference on all of our sites. So that's common practice now, is we will not just put an embed code on a website anymore.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah.
Do you use Google Tag Manager?
Yeah. Depending on which platforms we're running on, we can use Tag Manager. We've been doing a ton of Bing and Microsoft advertising lately, so Tag Manager isn't really great for that because they're competing technologies. So we've gone to kind of a hybrid approach, and we use a mixture of Tag Manager for Google properties, but then we're using the Microsoft Clarity for everything else.
Got it. And I guess we were on a call earlier today, and we were talking about Google, the new move to Google G4. Is that, I'm sure you're working on that too. And have you seen? Do you like it, or?
You can't stand GA4 is it? They basically took all of the data that I'm used to seeing and reporting on and hit it. Either hit it or just didn't.
Hit it,
including it. Yeah. So we're now having to manually add back in Universal Analytics to maintain our Data Studio reporting dashboards, because we can't. There's like even SEMrush and Ahrefs, they still can't connect to GA4 and do proper reporting, and it's because all this stuff is missing, and they're redacting a lot more queries now due to privacy. So it's basically a step in the wrong direction as far as if you're doing any type of marketing analytics and reporting. GA4 is a step backwards.
Do you have, I mean, I don't read a ton on it. Do you have any sense of why? It seems to me like Google is like rushing GA4 and retiring Universal. It seems like they're expediting that. Any sense on why that may be? From your guesses?
Serves Google's interest first. So they don't care about what marketers think. They are all of their advertising and attitude is all about the user, and that's how the search result pages have turned into these carnivals of self-promotion instead of actual organic. Our friend Matt, our friend Kevin Indig, just posted a new article this weekend about how there is no top 10 search results on Google's first page anymore. Those organic results are gone, and depending on what page you get to is how many organic results you're going to see. And so the reason Google is doing this is because they don't want you to know what you're missing out on, and the reason that they're taking away all of the manual bidding options in Google Ads is because they want to control what the user sees ultimately and don't want to give you that much control of where your ads show. And of course, every time that they give you an automated bid suggestion, that suggestion is to go with their automated bids because they make more money. And
they make more money.
So I don't trust anything that Google does. And GA4, they were trying to promote as this new radical improvement, but it hides more than it shows. And none of the analytic tools that we like to use can even connect to it.
Do you think there's anything out today that has the potential to overtake Google in the search realm, or do you think that's whatever is going to surpass Google in the future has yet to be built?
I think it's boutique. I think there's going to be search engines for like DuckDuckGo took over the privacy related search terms. There's going to be Apple search is going to be huge for Apple centric people who are on Apple hardware or subscribe to the Apple universe. So I think things like that, interest based search, so that the search engine you will be searching in a search engine that is biased towards what you prefer.
Okay.
It's what Google's trying to do on a universal basis, but now it's taking those segments and putting it into a different bucket because I think they've alienated too many people by trying to be something for everyone.
Yeah, that's a good call.
Yeah,
I mean, that's like where Yelp is kind of, I just got some internet work done at my house, and it was like, went to Yelp, found specifically what I was looking for, and had within an hour had several different estimates from different providers, and I think we'll probably see more of that in different industries, like you said, boutique. That's a good call.
Yeah, and Apple's been trying to do their search for a while, and I don't know that they're still gonna try to accommodate to too many people, but there is a big opportunity for customized search and even customized aggregators, like or something like a Pinterest search, which was just purely visual. People love Pinterest because they can do a bunch of visual advertising that looks organic. So those types.
You do any advertising on Pinterest for any of your clients?
We haven't lately. We've done in the past. We've done just organic, and organic has outperformed the paid on Pinterest, which is a problem with their platform because their free stuff is just too good.
Okay. Great. All right, Jeff. I'm sure, like other podcasts that you've heard, we also have a rapid fire on Shoponomics. So you've made it to that round. We're going to ask you some just rapid questions, yes, no, just short answers. So here goes. You ready?
Yes.
Okay. Favorite email provider? Maybe you've already mentioned it, but
email marketing.
Yes.
Klaviyo.
Okay. Any MailChimp at all, or yes, no?
Some, but since we're doing mostly Shopify, that Klaviyo's the only option.
You're still rocking the Constant Contact?
I've always been mortified by them because they allow people to spam lists, and they say that they have good list control, but I think the best list control that I've ever used is MailChimp, because they will just refuse your money if you're trying to spam somebody.
Yep. Yeah, I've had that experience. I mean, not trying to spam, but just adding like a new list and then like flag, So yeah. VPS or dedicated server for a site with 100,000 visitors a month?
I'd still go VPS because I don't do a lot of server side. Most of my sites are static generated using React. So for that, it's basically cloud. It's mostly serverless, and just connecting to services like Azure or AWS to manage the server side process.
Yep. Okay, that makes sense. All right. Are you using the Creative Cloud? Are you a fan? Yes, no.
Yes. Still.
Yes.
Very much Adobe centric. Yeah, because we do.
You're like
different things.
You're Adobe 20 years plus, right?
Yeah. Well, my cousin was one of the lead developers on Photoshop. So
yeah. Right, I forgot about that. Right.
What's your favorite Adobe software these days?
Photoshop has been part of my life since way back, and so I have an affinity for Photoshop, and I know we don't design websites in it anymore because it's inefficient, but I still love it and use it, and we'll do all of my photo editing in it before using like an XD to get the websites built.
Yeah, Daniel moved away from Photoshop. Okay.
I still use Photoshop, but I like Illustrator. I like a lot, and
Didn't you go to
yeah,
Figma too recently? Or?
a little. I've dabbled in that a little bit, but in Sketch, and there are a lot of different tools out there that are interesting. XD, yeah.
Yeah, and so our lead designer here is using just XD,
Mhm.
but we have our freelance designers that are using a mixture of XD and Figma. And the last site, it was a page on a site that was designed by one of our freelancers. He actually used Figma, and it was our first development experience using Figma, and it is very easy as far as taking that Figma design to development. So yeah, these tools are just making the development faster.
How's the code? Is the code still pretty clean, or?
Yeah, it's more of an export. It's not going to.
Oh, an export.
I'm sure that there's plugins that will build it for you, but we don't. Every time we've had one of those, build it yourself things, it's we didn't want to have to deal with cleaning up code. We just like writing custom. So.
Okay, non-technical related. Favorite coffee shop in LA?
Blue Butterfly in El Segundo.
Oh, okay. Never heard of that. Wait, Blue Blood or Fly?
Sorry. Blue Butterfly.
Blue Butterfly. Okay.
Yeah.
That's. I was like, wow, that's a weird name. Blue Butterfly. Okay. I'll have to check that one out. Are you a fan of NFTs? Do you think it's hyped, overhyped, or?
I'm a fan of the crypto space. NFTs are still, I think, going to be relegated to the metaverse. So the metaverse has to be able to catch up to the NFT hype. It's been sponsored by celebrities and everything else, but I think it's a marketing ploy for crypto. There's a lot of people pushing crypto, and it's going through what I see as a correction. A lot of projects are going to go to zero. A lot of like Gary Vee says, a lot of NFT projects are going to zero, and it's just kind of the way that the virtual economy's got to mature.
You have the shakeout. There'll be a few that'll remain. And awesome. Well, thanks so much, Jeff. Well, tell us real quick at the end here how people can get in touch with you. Website, social media, whatever you'd like to. Phone number.
I'm Global Jeff on all the social media platforms, and Byer.co is my website for any marketing related things. But yeah, pretty simple.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much, Jeff. It was an honor to have you as our first guest on
Thanks, Jeff.
Shoponomics.
Of course. Thank you for having me.
All right. Thank you.